I'm in two minds about the Naughty Dog leaks. Now, that's going to put me in an awkward position because, well, everybody on the internet wants us to pick a side, don't they? How do you pick a side when you're not in possession of all the facts, though? Because, frankly, we're not in possession of all the facts. Only certain people at Naughty Dog and the one person who perpetrated the leaks will come close, and even then their views are going to be coloured by their own perspectives. We can all have an opinion based on what we do know, though, so I'm going to offer mine here. As far as I see it, there are two main issues. The first one is the issue of the leaks themselves and the way in which people have responded to them. And the second one concerns the issue of crunch in the gaming industry, which was apparently the reasons for the leaks in the first place. Now, obviously, they're both linked because the leaks supposedly happened because of crunch and the way Naughty Dog treats their employees. So I'm going to have to address each issue in turn and then try and bring them together to provide what I can see as an overview. So let's talk about the leaks themselves first. I'm a fan of Naughty Dog's output and I especially like The Last of Us. So on that level, well, I'm disappointed and I really didn't want to see leaks. If I'm being honest, I've avoided them as much as I can, and so I'm going to avoid them here too. I can talk generally about some of the reactions I've seen though. As far as I can see, some of the reactions to the leaks are, well, almost inevitable, and they would have occurred anyway once the game was released. That's because some people have been gunning for this game ever since they discovered that Ellie is gay, or that Ellie will be the main protagonist in The Last of Us 2. I even made a video entitled The Last of Us 2, Naughty Dog and the Communist Conspiracy to Feminize Gamers back in 2016 to address some of the nonsense that was building around the game. And incidentally, the title was ironic, in case you were wondering. So when we got news of this leak and I started seeing some people's reactions, it was no real surprise to me that the knives were out in some quarters. And, you know, many people were happy to dogpile on the game because of the fact that it has apparently gone full-on woke. Well, all I can say to that is boo-hoo. If you think you won't like the game or its themes, don't buy it. It's that simple. There are plenty of dude bro shooters out there, as Sully from Gamecast would call them, to cater for your tastes, so why get your panties in a pickle over a game that you probably were never gonna buy or like anyway? That's the reality of it. The people who are dogpiling on this probably weren't gonna like it, regardless. And I've heard loads of people, you know, talking about this game or, you know, certainly the original Last of Us, and some people actually hate it. I can't understand why, but they do. And so some people were ready to jump on this, and I was pretty much expecting that. And it's funny because the game has also come under attack from another group. They were apparently disgusted by the violence to women in the trailer that aired at Paris Games Week in 2017, which I also made a video about. I have to say, when an art form is attacked from both sides, I tend to think that it's probably doing something right, but that could just be me. The fact is that The Last of Us 2 is going to be one of the biggest games to release this year, or any year, and that means that people want a piece of it. And if it doesn't fit with their agenda, well, they're going to want to tear it down. It happens all the time, and The Last of Us 2 isn't the first game to experience this, and it certainly won't be the last. But anyway, that brings me to my second point. We've all heard the horror stories about the crunch in the gaming industry, and I for one would love to see developers unionize to put a stop to the disgusting way companies treat them. No developer should be worked into the ground or bullied or put under pressure to work longer and longer hours. And no developer should lose their bonus because the top brass at the company want to increase their own personal fortunes. Now, I don't know about the details of what went on at Naughty Dog, but this isn't the first time we've heard that things are not right at the studio. And no matter what I think of their games, I'll never support workers being treated like shit. Call me daft, but that's the way it is. And I do have to wonder just how pissed off an ex-employee would have to be in order to leak huge amounts of footage and information about the game they'd presumably worked on. But of course, it could just be someone with an axe to grind. Employees can be assholes just as much as employers. So this isn't cut and dried. And even if whoever leaked this has good reason, as far as I can see it, there are better ways to go about dealing with industry disputes. Or at least there should be. I really don't think these leaks should have happened, and I would rather the ex-employee had gone about it in another way, but maybe there was no other way. I've dealt with bullies in the workplace, and the one thing to remember is that they usually are the ones with all the power. The rational thing to have done would have been to get a good lawyer, but when you have been put under immense pressure and bullied, you probably aren't thinking rationally. So, as I say, I'm in two minds about these leaks. They shouldn't have happened, but we really don't know what the motivations were behind them. Neither do we really know what went on at Naughty Dog, and we should remember that as well when we're commenting. All we can do for now as observers is hope that whatever issues there are at Naughty Dog get resolved, because they need to get resolved. And these kind of disputes need to happen less in the gaming industry, because we've seen what is going on. And if this employee or ex-employee really has been treated badly by the company, I really do hope that they can get some sort of recompense. I do worry, though, that their own actions may have actually hurt that possibility. You know, if you leak stuff from the company, you're actually going to end up hurting your own case. And, you know, as I say, I really am in two minds about this. I really don't know what to think about that particular part of this issue. And as for people getting their panties in a pickle about the game itself, well, I think they actually need to get a life. I still want to play the game, and I still suspect it'll be good. And if it isn't, well, I'll say so. I'm really not going to get upset because a game doesn't fit with my political leanings, though, because that's just, well, that's just dumb. I know it's not popular in certain circles to talk about diversity, but diversity in art is important. And what I mean by diversity in art is, you know, differences within the art itself. I don't want everything to be the same because that's boring. And I'd rather a game or a book or a film or a TV program or whatever it might be made me angry than bored. And frankly, if gay or trans people make you angry, well, then you probably need to take a chill pill. Honestly, when did the internet become populated by Mary Whitehouse clones who get more angry about sexuality and or gender than they do about workers' rights? It's bloody weird. Seriously, it's weird. Right, anyway, look, that's me done. I'm off to get a cup of tea. I'll speak to you in the next one. Give this one a thumbs up and all the rest of it. Subscribe and hit the bell and you know the drill. And as I say, I'm gone. Speak to you in the next one. Bye.